Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to another one of our Lunch and Learns. I'm Chris Tilley, Enterprise Architect here at HSO. I won't be delivering today. We've got our partner organisation, ClickLearn, with us, who are going to talk through how they can help us and help you on board from an enterprise training and documentation point of view. So this will be about 25 to 30 minutes, I believe. If you've got any questions as we go through, pop them in the chat. So I will hand over to my colleague Mark, who is going to run this from the ClickLearn side. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you very much, Chris, and welcome everybody. Thank you for participating in this session today. I will just share my screen here, and then we should be good to go. So, as Chris mentioned, we're going to talk about ClickLearn today. There is a lot of AI into this as well in the market, and also what we're going to launch as the next thing. I can see there are some familiar faces here, but of course also a lot of new people participating today. So some of you will know a bit about it, but I can tell you at the end, we are sharing what we're going to launch in Q1 as well. So ClickLearn is of course about how we can drive intelligent user adoptions, how we can create the content, and how we have success in also adapting the dynamic product that we are investing in. When we talk about ClickLearn, we see this as a strong relationship, long-term growth of your business in how we can then help with the user adoption part. And that's also why we are teaming up very well with the HSO. We are having a long partnership and are becoming more and more strategic together. So one of the things is, of course, we need to make sure that we are supporting confidence, we are improving competency inside your organizations when you invest in the dynamic product. Just shortly about ClickLearn, we are headquartered in Copenhagen, Denmark, as you may can hear in my accent, but we are all over the world, more or less. We have strongly relationship with HSO, and we operate with customers in more than 52 countries today. What we're going to keep focusing on today is what we call content authors and end users. So there are two roles inside ClickLearn. There are the one who is producing and maintaining all of the content that the end users can then, of course, be trained on. And then there are the consumers, the end users, your employees, that then will get a lot of tools and access to different ways of learning how to execute those processes that you have inside your application. Help your users. So we know that you are in this digital transformation. I'm sure you've heard that a lot, but it also requires to be successful that you think about how to have a digital user adoption strategy. I know there is a lot of tools and there's a lot of way to create training and documentation, but it become very static. You need to have a dynamic way of how you can change them, how you can upgrade them when there are changes in a cloud-based solutions. The benefit of it is, of course, we want to make sure we empower your end users in adapting systems. We want to make sure that you don't keep asking HSO about how to send an invoice, if that's the case. So let's make sure we increase productivity and do not have a lot of support questions about how actually to use the system when there is no bugs. And all of that will, of course, end out with a faster return of investment in your digital transformation journey. What we're going to see today is how we can record, produce, and publish learning content. I will show you how ClickLearn can fastly record what you're doing while you're doing it, capturing everything, and then produce 7 different learning formats out of that. And that we can do across applications. We're then going to look into the content, so how we can get a video out of it, how we can get a PDF document, PowerPoint presentation, user acceptance testings, etc. The other thing we're going to look at is how we make it available inside the live system. I'm going to show this on Microsoft CRM today. We will look at how we have a virtual assistant that can then guide you when you're done producing your content of what it is you need to do. It's also very important when we talk training and documentations and user adoptions that we have analytics, learning analytics. So we will also touch base on how we can give you key performance indicators of how well your users are actually trained and have they done their training, and how is the performance going of actually executing those processes. Replay, it's a terminology that we have inside ClickLearn, and that's because we can simply replay your instructions. Replay can be used if you have a more global footprint. Let's say you operate in UK and in Denmark, and the Danish people would like to have it in Danish. We can then replay all of your English instructions into Danish, and immediately they will have it in their local languages. We support all of the languages that are inside Microsoft Dynamics. Replay is also a feature that can be used when you have to do an update or change. We are not in a lot of control anymore when everything is cloud-based. If Microsoft decides to roll out new features, new functionalities, typically you will have to change your training and documentation. ClickLearn can help you with that. So we can replay it, we can figure out where there are changes, and then we can just add these few additional steps that has been changed without redoing all of our training and documentations all the time. Again, also, as Debbie and Chris mentioned, please feel free to write questions in the chat, and I will make sure that we will cover them here. Okay, let's jump in to ClickLearn itself. So the first thing I will start out with today is I am going to be in this ClickLearn author role. So what you're looking at here is what we call ClickLearn Studio. That's the application, if you are an author, you will need to have available to create content. The end users do not need to do anything. They will simply just receive it and then they can learn from there. To implement ClickLearn, it's super fast. It's just installing ClickLearn Studio. It's a 60 megabyte application. I can send you all a link, and we will also afterwards here, so you can actually try it out, and you don't need any resources, technical people to set it up. What you need to do to begin with in terms of creating content is you need to create what we call a project. I have created a lot of projects already on the different Dynamics platforms. Typically, customers will create a project for finance. They would create a project for service. They would create a project for marketing, sales, etc., depending on what your business is doing. And then inside that project, this is where you will have all of your content that's produced specifically for that project. I'm going to produce some content right now. So I will actually here live record how we're going to go through a process across applications. And then we will look straight into the end results when I'm done doing that. So I'm going to call this HSO Launch and Learn. And then we can simply just go ahead and start my recordings. Just give me a second here. I have the survey open from Debbie already, but I'll answer that when we're done. So what you see here is the ClickLearn Studio bar, and now we are simply ready to record. As soon as I click the record button here, then ClickLearn will be active. The important thing about ClickLearn is ClickLearn do not record your screen. So right now I am talking, I'm sharing and showing you what I do. I can go to Lidwearing, I could go to City Power and Light. It's not doing anything, it's just actually marking the area of interest, the field, the data that we have integrated ClickLearn into. And as soon as I click on this, ClickLearn will then understand that I have now clicked on the specific account. And that's also what you will see in the produced content in a second. So you just have to wait for the green box always. And as soon as the green box marks the field, you can click inside it, you can write inside it, and ClickLearn will understand what it is that you're doing. Let's say I have a process. I know we're a bit short on time today, so I will quickly skip through this. Normally I would create an account and so on. But let's say I have to have a process inside Dynamics CE in this case. But I also have a finance systems, or I have some Power Apps, etc. And my process go across an application. ClickLearn will follow you no matter where you go. So right now I will just straightly jump into another application here. We are in Power Apps. I could click on a challenge. And also, if you have drop-down menus, etc., ClickLearn again will understand what it is we're doing. I know a lot of you maybe are, as me, using Excel. So that could also be a thing that I needed to export some stuff to Excel. Again, just wait for the green box to appear. And right now we are actually sitting inside Excel. And ClickLearn, again, just follow me no matter where I go. And I can click on a data field inside Excel. I could tell whatever I wanted to do in the Excel application. I think everybody gets the point. We can capture your process no matter where you go. And here you now see the 9 steps that I just did. I'm going to finish this recording now. And then we're going to go back to the studio application. So we are still not in the end user experience. We are still recording and producing content. And what's happening right now, it's ClickLearn is producing 7 different learning formats. So I'm now creating a Word document, a PDF, a PowerPoint, and 3 different types of videos that we will look into. So here is our end result, HSO, Lunch and Learn. Here is exactly what we did. We clicked on the link City Power and Light. I went into the account name. I went into the website field. We went into the Power Apps and clicked on Challenges. The toggle drop down. We went on Name, and then I went into Excel, and I clicked on the cell D7 with the data value, big data. So this is how fast you can actually create instructions and learnings. It is very important again to mention everything is a step. So inside here, everything is 1 step. So if I'm not satisfied with this step here, I can easily go in here and I can edit the text. And I could say, instead of click on the area, click on Power Apps. And immediately the change or the text is changed and will also be updated. So I don't have to redo my recordings. I don't have to, go in and re-record, etc. I can modify and change a lot of the things here from the editor. Let's look into all of the formats that's being produced. I will start with the show me video. That's why I have to share my sound here. So I hope everybody can hear what's happening right now.
Click on the link City Power and Light, Sample 12 City Power and Light, Sample 12. Click on the text field account name. Click on the text field website. Click on the Power Ops. Click on the item challenges.
So as you can see, we have now created a video. We have now subtitled it and also have a digital voice. There are 700 digital voices to pick between. So if you want Samuel Jackson to read out all of your instructions, you can do that, or whoever is your favorite actor. But yeah, everything is now perfectly cropped. You do not have to do anything. And these videos can now be made available for the end users. This is, of course, just a show me. And in my world has not a lot to do with learning. But that try me and test me has. So if we now take a try me video.
Click on the link City Power and Light, Sample 12 City Power and Light, Sample 12.
That's a long customer name, but we'll live with that for now. What you see now is this is marked with a red box. So if I click on accounts, nothing will happen. But as soon as I click in the red box, now we can actually ask users to train and be learned in how to execute a process of how to create an account, if that's the case. And again, also, this is something that we are tracking. So I could see if the end users have completed these sessions or not. So now it's simply just guiding me. I can learn my process of how to create a customer, if that's the case. And when I'm done, there's also some kind of a feedback panel and some comments that we can send back to the administrators. The last format or that we're going to see here in the videos is the test me. Test me is a user acceptance testing simulations, if we can call it that. Right now, we have configured this so I have 4 attempts for each step to pass this test. So it will not show me what to do anymore. And if I wanted to, I could switch off the voice and subtitles. And now I have to execute a process in a closed environment and prove that I can actually pass my training. So if I click on leads, opportunities, competitors, and accounts, that's not the right way. Then I fail this one step and it now shows me where to click. If I then click through what we just did, I can remember all of it. To name, Excel, and big data. You will now see the evaluations, and of course, this is also being fed back to the learning and analytics inside ClickLearn. So we know if the users have passed the test, and this can be configured in terms of how many attempts you would like your users to have for each step. The downloaded formats, I'm just going to show you a PDF, but it's a simulation of what you see here. If it's Word, PDF, PowerPoints. PowerPoints will be full screen captures and a slideshow that you can use for training or for classroom trainings. Let's say you want to download a PDF to have it available offline or whatever you need to. Again, here, now you see. And of course, this can be with your corporate identity, your logos. These are just some templates that we're using. But now I also have a PDF formats perfectly cropped and guided to my end users of what I exactly just clicked through. There's a lot of things here in the editor, but we do not have, as mentioned, a lot of time today. But again, feel free to reach out to Debbie, Chris, or me, and we'll be happy to show you a lot of these features if you're interested. I'm now done with producing my formats. And the next thing I have to do is I have to make it available for our end users. I'm just going to give you an example here today where I have already done it. But inside ClickLearn, you have to make a structure as the next thing when you have produced your content of what it is you want to make available for your end users. What you're looking at here is a structure. We call it the learning portal section structure. What you can do is you have some basic components where, just like you know from your C drive, your SharePoints, etc., you simply just drag and drop in a folder, and then you can give this folder a name. Right? And then you can take your recordings and drag and drop them in to that specific folder. So now you see I have a folder called HSO, it's cross-platform, and here's my cross-platform recording. That's it. And then you can make that available live. I'm just going to delete this because we're actually sitting in a live learning portal right now. But I think you get the idea of how quickly you can create these structures and folders and upload them. That's exactly what I have done here with all these different platforms. And then I have created a lot of recordings and uploaded them in here. And that's what's going to give us the learning portal for the end users. So let's get out of ClickLearn Studio, and then let's jump into our learning portal. So now I'm going from the role of being an author to actually being an end user. So the simple thing is end users will just get a link. You can have logins. Typically, we will use Office 365 sign-ins. And again, you can make it your colors, your logo, your corporate identity. In here, you can search for whatever you need to learn something about. I need to know how to create an account. I can just search an account, and then I get all the references for how to create an account. Or I can deep dive in to the folders. I am sitting in sales, and I would like how to create an account. And now you see, here is all of the content. You can also see in this one, so I have actually edited some and added additional information. And this is how the end users will get all of their training, access to this HTML page. And if they want to, they could go in and see a show me, a try me, and a test me video, as we just did, or download this as a Word, PDF, or PowerPoint documentation. I mentioned replay in languages. And again, I'm not going to show you a full replay of what it is, but what we just did, I could replay into a German language. And then it will be available here on the learning portal in German as well. So this is just by replaying my instructions. And then I could go in here. I could look at how to create an account in German. And if I then switch on the video.
Objektiv. Im Folgenden wird der Prozess zum Erstellen eines neuen Kontos beschrieben. Wenn Sie Konten im Namen des tatsächlichen Kontoinhabers erstellen.
I'm not the best at German, but I think you get the idea as well. So we are capable of translating subtitles, digital voices as well, if you have companies, businesses in multiple countries. So this is one way of the end users to get access to their training and documentation. The other way is, of course, how we're going to have it accessed inside the business application. So now I have been through my videos, I've been forced through my training, user acceptance testings, etc. But now I'm actually sitting inside C, and I can't remember what I've been taught as usual. So how do I get assistance? ClickLearn has a live assistant in here. So I can always ask my little ClickLearn assist and then tell me how to create an account because I can't remember anymore. Now ClickLearn will then give me all of the information that I need to be prepared for before. And then it will guide me on top of the live system of how to create an account. And when I'm done with him, I can always switch him off and say, I'm good from here. I can see we only have a few minutes left. So Peter, I will hand it over to you now. And then I will actually like you to show you the new release of this virtual assistant and how we can combine that with AI. And then hopefully we'll jump back to me and we can do a few questions and finish off this session for today. Peter, stage is yours if you're capable of taking over the control.
There we go. Long live the controls here in the back end. Here we go. You should be able to see my screen now.
Yes.
So
Perfect.
if we take the same CE system that we were looking at just before, we have the ability now to take that URL that Mark was just mentioning and add that into a special extension. That will give you a fun little button like this one that will appear, I'll just minimize you, Mark. That will make the side panel appear. So this is the new user experience panel. So right now we are on the dashboard page of CE, and here I don't have any recordings related, but as soon as I move into an entity, for instance, of the account, then automatically ClickLearn will go in and have a look at, well, what is my user role? At the same time, what entity are we in, if my system wasn't so slow? There we go. And instantly it gives me suggestions to what recordings have I created that relates to this. And this top suggested here is actually created by what have other users and myself been doing when I have been in this form. So it takes the top picks there. It could also be if I go down to leads, and hopefully my system is a little bit faster this time. It automatically finds out that now I'm in the entity of the leads, and it gives me new information available. I can, of course, always search for something, let's say marketing. And then instantly it will give me anything that has to do with marketing in that way of recordings. And I can easily jump into a specific recording and see how that is done. Now, we also build in another way in here, and that's the AI chat that Mark mentioned. So that means that if I am new to the organization, I can say, hi, new to HSO. How do I qualify a lead? And then maybe spell correctly. There we go. Now the chat will actually, just like if I was tapping one of my buddies at work and asked them, how do I do this? It instantly says, well, to qualify a lead in HSO, you need the following steps. Gives me the entire information that I need to do, but also gives me reference to a process that relates to this. As soon as I click on that, that appears here. So now I can see each of the steps that I have in here. I can watch a video, just like we saw before.
To complete this instruction, you need to be in a module that contains the leads area.
And I've never left the application. I'm still exactly where I want to be working. I can get an assistant here that will start by telling me, what do I do? As it takes me through the instructions here, you need to click on leads. Yeah, I kind of get that. Then it will update my lists over here. So it kind of like dashes it up. If I've created a analytics screen capture where I marked off several steps, it shows me both of the steps. As soon as I move my mouse over that one, it gives me that information right here in front of me that I could also have written over here, read over here. And the same thing, it goes for the other steps. Let's say that I want to look at the leads and it gives me that overall pick. As soon as I move into a specific lead, it kind of starts explaining me all the different things in here. So you have that live virtual assistant while you at the same time can follow along here on the side what it is that you need to be aware of and what it is that we're looking for. So pretty neat in that way. We can, of course, push notifications. So that means that if you are sitting either with a server update, a site update, something that is not working, you can do like intrusive that will be appearing here on the screen. It can be a notification that you have here on the side, which just to give you a bit of an information, or it can be one that will pop up here in the bottom part of the screen. We can even combine this with the product documentation with inside the application. So in this case here, I've did something for the entity, for the form of the account. So as soon as I move in here and I click, for instance, the field down here at the bottom, you can see that I now have information about account names and what it is that I need to put in here. So product documentation alongside process documentation, ask QI tips, notifications inside the application, and not only all that, because I know Stephen, he asked me a question earlier in the chat. What about previously created content? What about your own help portal? Well, that can actually also be embedded directly in here, because as you can see, we have the ability to have dynamic assets in here. That could either be, as I'm doing here, with a YouTube video, but it could also be a link to a portal that you already have, either ClickLearn portal, but also like a SharePoint site or whatever it is that you constantly update. That will also be available through this. Or it can be documents like I have here, a specific PDF file. Then instantly I can have that made available right there on the screen to my end users, so they can get to go see that one.
Thank you very much, Peter. That was a very quick launch of our new UXP with the AI part. I kind of want to go quickly back to just summarize what it is we have been talking about today, and then let's open up for Q&A. So if we talk about what we have seen today, of course, save your time in how you create training and reduce your support tickets of how to use your system. Engage and upscale your global teams rollout. Make sure you have it available in the local languages if necessary. think about how we measure the insights so we can actually show key performance indicators and reduce the return of investment, and then always stay current on the latest version, latest updates from Microsoft. Again, we have done this a lot of times. We are, in these 52 countries with more than 700-800 clients today. And we are, of course, happy to have the discussion with you as well, how we can help you in a successful transformation. Thank you so much. And as I mentioned here, try out ClickLearn, reach out to us. And also with this HSO Lunch and Learn, we are giving 3 months for free if you sign up as a new client, of course. Yeah. But yeah, Chris, thank you for your time from my side.
Yeah, so it just remains to say thank you all for coming, and thanks guys from ClickLearn for showing us what you can do with that tool. And to remind you, the next session that we're going to be delivering is in the new year after all the frantic holiday fun on the 1st of February 24, and it's about AI. Buzzword at the minute, how can Copilot be embedded, all of the Microsoft tools, and where can it work in your business, and a bit on how you can use it as well. So sign up for that one. I'll be there with some of my colleagues in the new year, and thanks again for coming.